Hey everyone, welcome to today's video. Welcome to the Video Game Fight School channel. This is some sort of an impromptu video because I literally just recorded the video to be published for January the 22nd, so Friday. And I'm uploading right now. And in this particular video, you're probably gonna maybe have watched it by the time you watch this video. I talk about why I believe that this particular game, Gotham Knights, is in its final phase of production, and I talked about why optimization is basically where I believe the game is. And out of nowhere, one of our audience members here, I'm going to try my best to keep your name somewhat hidden, basically shows up and says, yo, they just had a tweet to an article, and in the article they talk about these games that are going to be coming out, which basically is some sort of a, I would say, indirect allusion. Let's not say confirmation. Let's say an indirect allusion to the possibility that this game is not getting a delay, as has been speculated by a lot of people pretty much in the gaming community. So it's an article that was written by WCCF Tech, and they basically put together just some of these, titles and talked about this stuff. And they're looking into the Canadian gaming industry. For those of you who don't know, Canada is a huge game developer, or game development area. I don't know why. I think there's like a huge incentive for a lot of tech companies, especially in the games development side of things, that really does attract a lot of companies to put their studios there. I can't remember specifically where I kind of like heard some game developer talk about it in depth, but I've heard something along the lines of that. And in this particular, I would say, piece, they put together some of this information saying, Warner Brothers Games Montreal gets to put their mark on comics' most iconic city this year in Gotham Knights. And they're not playing it safe. For starters, they've killed Batman, and with players instead of taking on the roles of Robin, Batgirl, Nightwing, and Red Hood. Also, unlike Arkham games, Gotham Knights is more of an Assassin's Creed style light action RPG. While some questions remain about Gotham Knights, honestly, it's hard to make a bad game about beating up Mr. Freeze. So this is just something that I think, is just more of, I would say, an illusion, not a confirmation. But I think it's really interesting to see that, people are starting to kind of have a little bit more confidence towards what this particular game has to bring to the table. Gotham Knights is a game that we've speculated all over and we've talked about from time to time. So I decided I'd make this update just to continue to, put that in our perspective, that if we're going to get a good game, we're going to get a good game. And I think the challenge right now is the optimization, because across different machines, across different performance systems, it's quite challenging to try to want to bring out your game for cross generation. It's not easy. Companies that are going to be bringing out their games exclusively on the PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X, I think they've already, had time to, work on their game and had that platform. But, to every day, just think about it. You make a build for your game, then you have to fire it up on all of your platforms. I don't even know what that process will look like. Say somebody does, say your team designs a 30-minute gameplay loop, or somebody does a side mission, right? And then they kind of run that build. Usually these kinds of builds will take a long time to run, maybe a few hours depending on the machine they're using, and they run the build and compile it for all the different systems. Then they fire it up on those different systems, and then they have to go sit there and play at least a version of it. Then you have QA managers who will also take it and then have the different versions played. These things, they constantly take and eat up time. So I think that's why we're kind of where we are, where there has not been an announcement yet. And this is not to say that the game can still not be delayed. Don't get me wrong, it still can be delayed. If they're optimizing and they continue to, make changes, and they're continuing to make sure that the game is in the right place and they can't get it right, then more than likely they're going to, push the game forward. They're not going to release a game where one platform doesn't get the game right. They've made, Warner Brothers Studios, Rocksteady, has made that mistake before. Now, another thing too that I didn't necessarily pay attention to is the potential that they might have another company that's probably working on the PC version of it in order to reduce the production time. And when I say production time, I'm talking about, the time that it takes for them to actually, go ahead and deal with all of the games. And one studio that I know that does ports for Warner Brothers games is QLOC. I don't know if they're going to be using QLOC to do the PC side of things. I know that in the past also Splash Damage has also done some work with Warner Brothers Montreal. So maybe there might be a relationship there where they're able to take on some of the workload, but you never know. You have to kind of still wait and see. But anyways, thank you very much for just jumping in on this video. I appreciate you guys a lot. I appreciate you, Noah, for actually pointing me to the information. Thank you so much. I appreciate you guys. You guys are quite amazing in the way you're able to kind of like point information my way, and I really do appreciate it because it's I can't keep up with all the information sometimes. It just show up out of nowhere. I'll talk to you in another video. Thank you very much for your time and audience. Peace.